I think it's going to be a shock to the city.
I like those who say things that may not be popular.
Because I think the one that's up there on top has too much power as it is.
I'm kind of torn between Ram and Chica.
I am not with anyone right now.
Welcome to Off 63rd with Garrard McClendon. Less than 1 week to go as the candidates push through the backstretch and into the final turn. Polls have flip-flopped and voters are narrowing their prospects. But tonight, we're going to discuss the media's role in choosing the next mayor. This is Off 63rd, Chicago, from the beach to the burbs. You're watching Off 63rd, but hey, if you're about to get in your car, join us on 89.3 WKKC FM. This is the last day for early voting, and we want to know if viewers are really voting their interest or being blinded by the coverage and endorsements. Joining me tonight to talk about who will grab the reins of the city, our reporter for the award-winning NPR series Ghetto Life 101, Green Party U.S. Senate nominee and chairman of Young Government, LeAlan Jones. From the Big John and Amy show on AM 560 WIND, journalist and member of Phi Beta Kappa, Amy Jacobson, and keeping us current on the weekly pulse of urban Chicago, Indigo magazine publisher Hermene Hartman. Welcome to Off 63rd, people.
Thank you for having us.
We appreciate you being here. Let me give the number one more time. 773-487-3630 is the number. 773-487-3630. Let's get right into this. It's been an interesting month in Chicago. We're getting down to the wire. We're 5 days away from possibly having a new mayor. Two things I want to discuss quickly. LeAlan, early voting has ended today. Who do you think has the early lead? And then I'm going to go to Amy and then to Hermene. Early voting, who's got the early lead?
I think you're very likely to look at Rahm Emanuel being able to benefit in early voting when you look at the fact that all of the stories that have been in the media, the fact that he's been able to run commercials far sooner than most people, looking at his war chest, and the fact that he's actually benefited from, is he going to be on the ballot or off the ballot, and all of that has helped him, I think, brand himself, and the fact that he's running commercials now with the President of the United States, whether that's an endorsement or not an endorsement, he has the video, they don't.
That's pretty sneaky, too. Let me go to Amy next. Amy, who's got the early lead? Early voting ends today. We're 5 days away from the election. The early lead, Amy.
Well, clear-cut, Rahm Emanuel. I mean, with the residency issue, when that came up, he became a victim, like, oh, look at him, oh, this poor guy, because people felt so bad for him.
Yeah.
That was, I was hearing when people would call on the Big John and Amy show, they'd say, what's going on? Of course, he had some opponents, but still, it got the word out, and there's no power like the power of the president. He had the most money to put forward to get the commercials out first, and then with the president, the radio ads were pretty impressive.
It's like I got two Rahm Emanuels here on an early lead. Let's go to Hermene Hartman, Indigo. Early lead, Hermene.
Rahm Emanuel, same reason.
Come on, you're copying us.
I mean, it's just clear cut. He had an advantage with the President of the United States. I mean, you just can't beat that. He's been doing media longer and better and more than any of the candidates. And then on the ballot, off the ballot, on the ballot. I mean, that was just free, wonderful PR.
You know what, Hermene? He seems to be the only candidate that wasn't indecisive from the start. I mean, we saw television commercials out the gate. We saw those last year. We saw an amazing web campaign out the gate. In fact, his website almost looked identical to Barack Obama's. Amy, I'm going to come to you with this question. Media bias. People have been blowing me up on Twitter and Facebook in terms of media bias in the Chicago mayoral landscape. Does such an animal occur?
Oh, it exists every second of every day. Rahm Emanuel is a rock star because the media is making him a rock star. They follow his every move. If he goes to a diner at 6 in the morning, they are there. There is somebody assigned to him at all times. So that, I mean, and nobody else is getting that. And the only way that Patricia Watkins got attention was when Carol Moseley Braun made that comment to her about being addicted to crack cocaine. And that's when that piqued interest in her. Well, hey, was she on drugs? So then we had her on the Big John and Amy show because I wanted to know a little bit more about her.
Yeah.
So Carol Moseley Braun, in effect, helped her get her name out by making that comment to her.
Yeah.
So the media does play a major role in this. There's no doubt about it. Plays
a major role. I'm coming back to you, Hermene. I want to go to LeAlan. LeAlan, you run for Senate, Green Party nominee. Talk to me about media bias just on a personal campaign level and then on the mayoral level.
You got to realize it's checkbook bias. It's about who can write the biggest check, who can buy advertising. If you know anything about media, even if you don't know anything about politics, stations are cutting back. People aren't spending as much on advertising. So people that can walk in with the big bucks, irrespective of Republican or Democrat, it's ultimately who has the larger checkbook, and that's where the biasness goes because they're going to buy more ad space. So when you take into account that politics isn't beanbag, is a term coined here in Chicago, he who has the purse potentially will have the victory. And I think that we're going more to that model as opposed to less. And, you know, if you got more money, you're going to have more fun in politics.
You know what? Several Facebook comments have said exactly what you just said, LeAlan. If you've got deep pockets, the big wallet, the big purse, the media is going to cover you more. Let me take a phone call, and this phone call may be leading toward what I was going to ask Hermene next. Caller, are you there? Thanks for calling off 63rd, Chicago, from the beach to the burbs. What's your comment?
Well, first of all, it's good to see you again on TV, sir.
Thank you.
Okay. I have to ask Ms. Hartman, why exactly, after initially endorsing Carol Moseley Braun, did she then turn around and endorse Rahm Emanuel? Now, just to add clarity to this.
Okay, thank you for the call. I got to get you out. Hermene Hartman, this has been the story of the week. Indigo, the paper, the magazine for the Urbane. Your magazine endorses Rahm Emanuel. This caller is saying, what's up, Hermene?
I never endorsed Carol Moseley Braun. My first choice out the gate for the mayoral was Reverend James Meeks. And I thought James Meeks would be a great mayor because I thought he had the heart and I thought he also had the mind. And I liked that he was on the ground with a lot of the issues that I think are facing the next mayor. So after Meeks, we were looking at all of the candidates. I never endorsed Carol Moseley Braun.
Never endorsed Carol Moseley Braun?
We were looking at the candidates. I wrote a scathing article on Rahm Emanuel with his dead fish tricks and said that's not nice. And you don't send dead fish, and please don't send me one unless you like sushi. Okay. Now, I think as the campaign has moved forward and has gone on, we have seen the candidates in their fullness. And I made a decision. And I thought Rahm Emanuel presented the best case for mayor. I thought he presented the best vision for the city. I thought he presented the best credentials for handling the problems that we have in the city. I liked his messages, and I liked what he was saying about solutions. Rahm has given us solutions to problems. That has been his message. Now, he may have had more money than anybody, so maybe that helps you with the solutions, right?
Absolutely.
But 75% of campaigns now are media run. I mean, but you've got to get your message out. Now, you either do it with paid media or you do it free. I think Carol has not gotten her message out. We don't know what she thinks about this. We don't know what her solutions are.
And she imploded.
And she imploded herself. Nobody did it to her. But you don't go around calling people crackheads. Why would you spend energy and time on probably the least person in the whole campaign and blow them up?
Okay, Hermene.
Why do you give credibility to that?
That's a good point. I got to take a phone call. Let me go to Amy, though. Amy, I see you chomping at the bit here. Talk to me, and then I've got a follow-up question for you.
Well, Carol Moseley Braun also, the reference to Hitler with Rahm Emanuel and talking to the media about his relation to the producers and how a character on the producers is likable, just like Hitler, just like Rahm Emanuel is. I mean, come on. Give me a break. You don't do that. And then her rebuttal to that was she was talking about tampons. Like, where did that come from? All of a sudden, she was saying, you know, he sends people dead fish. And what she was trying to say, I think, is that he's degrading to women or he doesn't treat women with respect and he makes jokes about tampons. But she never got that out. She just blurted out that word. And it snowballed into a disaster.
A disaster.